welcome back to the channel. This is John and Jenna with Flippin' Ain't Easy, and today I want to talk about the reseller mindset. And I employed our friend not ChatGPT but Grok to just wanted to. I think a lot of times I'll use Grok to get information, to get ideas, and just to maybe in this particular case, see what AI has to say about the whole subject. And I know on this channel I've been very, very critical of eBay, and let me just put it on the record. Want to say this, that eBay, kudos to you for, let's face it, eBay, despite all of its problems, is the best, in my opinion, the best site to sell your stuff on. Now there's people who think otherwise, and I have opinions about that. But for the most part, if you're doing the right things, if you have the right mindset, eBay is the best place to sell your stuff. And they've never missed a payment. That's, to me, I've told you this before, if they screw with my payments, that's where I'm going to have a real issue. But otherwise, everything else, they're just roadblocks that we have to navigate. And channels like this one, I would even say, like maybe Primo Chemo, maybe little James Helferstay. These are channels that they're gonna make you aware of the pitfalls that we're coming across, and we pass these things on to you. No different than if I saw a police speed trap down the road, and I didn't want you guys to speed because you're gonna end up with the ticket, right? So, we post it on Waze or whatever. So that's kind of the reason why we even talk about it. Otherwise, it just, I guess you could look at it as complaining. It comes off that way sometimes, but it's really not meant to be. At least in my book, it's just sharing, what's going on within our business. Now, all this kind of ties into the mindset, the reseller mindset that I think we all need to sort of adopt. And I think, the songs that I have, both the intro and the outro, every reseller goes through all these things. There's no reseller. If you're a reseller that says, flipping is easy, reselling on eBay is easy, well, you're probably not doing it at a high enough level. Maybe you're just doing it casually. And casually, heck, man, if I could just do reselling casually, that is a piece of cake. But when you put everything together collectively, flipping ain't easy. Chargebacks. If you got your first chargeback, anybody remember your first chargeback? What do I do now? Kind of thing. How many of us, even myself, have learned not only through our mistakes but through mistakes that we've seen on YouTube? And if we would have gone through that problem, it's like, wow, what do I do? What do you do when you have a $1,200 return and it's going to be swap out just from the conversation? Or what do you do when you get that shakedown request? These aren't easy situations. Now, you can make them easier, and I think that's where your mindset comes. How you approach that situation will not only make that situation easier, but it'll make the idea of reselling in general easier. So many people quit because they maybe had a bad experience, and they just don't want to deal with that because they allow it to affect the way they look at the business. And if you approach it, it's up here. It's all up here. Almost everything you do in life is all up here. And if you have a good outlook towards whatever it is that you're doing, you're going to have better success, and you're going to stick with it longer. Now, I asked ChatGPT. I keep saying ChatGPT. Grok 3, which is, for those of you who don't know, you go into X, open a free account, and then there's an option for Grok. You can ask it whatever you want, and it's pretty good because it's not only using its data set, it's looking at other information on the internet. So if we're looking at Grok, here's what I asked it. I said, well, what is the perfect mindset eBay resellers should have as it relates to problems they encounter within their business? And here's what it says. The perfect mindset for eBay resellers facing problems in their business is a blend of resilience, adaptability, and a proactive problem-solving attitude. Reselling is inherently unpredictable. Inventory issues, buyer disputes, shipping hiccups, and market shifts are par for the course. Here's a breakdown of the ideal mindset tailored to the challenges eBay resellers encounter without leaning on cliches or overly rigid frameworks. So it goes on to break it down. Core elements of the perfect mindset. Number one, see problems as opportunities. Issues like a return request or unsold inventory aren't just setbacks, they're chances to improve. A buyer complaint might reveal a listing flaw you can fix. Slow-moving stock might push you to research new niches. An example, and it knows that I've sold stereo equipment, so if a stereo doesn't sell, it's not a failure. It's data telling you to tweak pricing or target a different audience. How about number two? Stay calm under pressure. Panic clouds judgment, whether it's a negative feedback hit or a PayPal hold, which we haven't had in a long time, but you know what I'm saying there. A cool head gets you access to act rationally, key when time and money are on the line. An example, buyer claims your Denon speaker arrived broken. Instead of stressing, you methodically check your photos, file a shipping claim, and resolve it. So you take action. Embrace adaptability is number three. eBay's platform, buyer behavior, and market trends shift constantly. Resellers who cling to old strategies, like this has always sold before, get stuck. Flexibility keeps you competitive. And an example is if shipping costs spike, which they might go up with USPS at some point, you pivot to lighter items or bundle listings to offset it. So that's one way you can combat that. Number four, focus on solutions, not blame. Why? Pointing fingers at buyers, eBays, or suppliers, it's just a waste of your energy. Successful resellers ask, how do I fix this and move forward? An example is as a supplier sends you a mislabeled Odyssey mic, which I have one listed. Instead of fuming, you negotiate a refund or list it creatively as is. I do that all the time. Maintain a growth perspective. Why every problem teaches something. Better sourcing, tighter packing, clear descriptions, viewing setbacks as lessons builds long-term success. So as an example, a lowball offer on your inventory pile, it's a nudge to refine your pricing strategy or negotiation skills. So instead of hitting that decline button fast, saying, I don't want to bother with this person, maybe you should start looking at your prices to see, maybe I'm a little high, and or maybe this is an opportunity to work with this particular buyer and try to get them to come back to where I'm at price-wise. Number six, balance optimism with realism. Blind positivity with the mindset of everything will sell leads to overstock. Cynicism, nothing works anymore, kills motivation. A grounded belief in your ability to succeed paired with the data-driven decisions is key. So as an example, you're hopeful about moving that backstock, but check sold listings to confirm demand first. And the last one, it says, own your business, not your ego. And pride can trap you into defending bad decisions, like overpaying for inventory. I got to have this item. I sold it before. I'll pay up because I love selling this thing. Resellers who prioritize profit over being right, cut losses, and adapt faster. An example of that pile of unlisted items isn't worth listings. You ditch it without hesitation.
I would say adding not just your ego, but your feelings.
Right.
Take your feelings out of the business.
And so it goes on to say how this applies to common problems. Buyer disputes, approach with patience and evidence. Photos tracking to resolve quickly, not emotionally. Unsold inventory, see it as a puzzle. Test new titles, lower prices, or bulk list rather than despairing. Here's another one. Think about selling live. That's working for a lot of people with unsold inventory. Shipping issues, treat delays or damages as a chance to streamline your process. Better packaging or insurance. So if you have that item that is coming back with problems, like it keeps getting broken, that tells you that you need to ship better. Platform fees and changes, accept them as the cost of doing business. People hate me when I say that. I didn't say it. That's Grok. And adjust margins or sourcing accordingly. And the last thing it has to say about it is the reseller's edge. The perfect mindset isn't about avoiding problems. It's about thriving through them. like that navigation around the potholes, right? It's a mix of grit, keep going when a sale falls through, curiosity, why didn't this work, and hustle, fix it and try it again. For you, glancing at the pile of inventory, it's asking, how do I turn this into cash? Instead of, why do I have so much stuff? Which I had a video about the other day. That shift from stress to strategy is what separates casual sellers from pros. And then I'll ask what it's asking me. It's asking you, what's the toughest problem you faced as a reseller? And it says, I can help you apply this mindset to it. So shout out to Grok for assisting me through this conversation. And I thought, well, I probably couldn't have said it any better, but it is a good starting point for this conversation, that I think there's some of us here, many of us here, of the 7 things that it did talk about: seeing problems as opportunities, staying calm under pressure, embracing adaptability, focusing on solutions, not blame, maintaining a growth perspective, balance optimism with realism, and owning your business, not your ego. There's at least one of those things that most of us can do better and work on. And maybe put in down below of those 7 things, which one sticks out to you as something that you need to work on. So I'll let that kind of marinate and let you guys kind of think about that for a minute. And if you could do me a favor, if you have some questions, not just for me, but for everyone, please put them in the chat. If you're watching after the fact, throw a question in the comments. Between myself and the rest of the viewers, we'll try to address it. Maybe you're concerned about one of those 7 things and what you can do better, and we're here to just bounce ideas off of each other. Now, I wanted to say a couple things. I have been really researching, and many of you guys know this, I'm trying to find a way to make this live stream excuse me, my voice is giving out, but to make this live stream interesting beyond the first 15-20 minutes. So I've had some feedback from people saying, yeah, I just watched the first 15-20 minutes. I guess my diatribes aren't that bad after all. And then when I get to the greetings, hello everyone, which I love to do, by the way, they drop off because it's just no longer informative. And of course, somebody has a business mindset and not a hangout mindset, they're going to be like, I'm on to the next bit of information. I'm trying to soak up the information. So I'm working on ways to make this live a little better while being able to still make it worth your while to be here and be part of the community. So any ideas, and I thank Brett, Mad Hatter's Boutique, for sending me some information. It gives me something to think about. So I am currently just brainstorming and trying to figure out how that's going to be, and I'm gonna have a lot of things to think about while I'm gone on my trip, because I'm always thinking about the business and the channel when I'm gone. I should be thinking about just not thinking about it, but that's just my mindset. I'm focused, and that was weird. I'm focused on the things that I've got to do when I get back. So before I get to you guys here, want to whoops, I don't know what that is, but want to get to some of the things. I want to know how your sales are, and to show you our sales, at least here, we have had a very solid run since I'd say the 15th of March. So it's going on a solid, going on 2 weeks here, but we've had solid days, like 2 or 3 days, three or 4 days that are like right under $1,000. And for the last 31 days, we're up 58.5% as compared to how we did in February. So February was just not great.
Did you put the FedEx?
Yeah, I put the FedEx outside. Was not great, but combined, it's like two different sides of the spectrum. February was horrible, and March was great. As it pertains to our sales year over year, so this year as compared to the same period last year, we're at $29,669 in total sales. This is the main account. The other account probably has about $8,000 worth, but we're up 16.5% versus the prior time this year. And the thing is, if you remember, on Friday we were at like 20%, and I could tell you what happened, why there's a drop of about 4% over the weekend, despite having a good weekend. I had to process a $600 refund, and that knocked me down a little bit. So it is what it is. We've sold 400 items on this main account so far at a 6.3% decrease in the number of items, but we're at $74.17, which is a 24% increase in ASP. I'll take that all day long. The closer I can get to 100 and or above, I don't know if that'll ever happen, but that's definitely something that I'm looking to do. Also want to give you one last update on the offsite ads campaign that I decided to run despite your advice. I have it set for $10 a day. And since last Tuesday, was it last Tuesday I started it, right? Monday night.
Monday night.
They've only charged me $18.56. I have it for $5 a day. It should be at $35 by now. So there's not been enough clicks. Of course, I'm only responsible for $9 of that. Return on ad spend, I really don't look at that number on raw ass. And sales conversion rate is fairly decent, but 1 out of 22 clicks, 1 sold. So we've sold 1 item for $133.55. That's the one we talked about on Friday, and nothing since. Now, I'm going to bump this because it doesn't seem like it's utilizing all the money that I'm putting in. I'm going to bump it up to $10 a day while I'm gone. My theory is that, yes, this is all the action I'm getting with offsite ads. But I really do feel like there's something that's going on that's helping this. Look, now you could say, well, you were doing well before then, but I mean, this last week has been stellar. And the only thing I can think of that I've done differently is do offsite ads. Now, is it designed that way? Probably not. No, but we all have our hypothesis as, you do this thing and this thing happens, right? So it's like the idea of, some people subscribe to the idea of listing every day when eBay has said, no, you don't have to list every day. And I almost wonder if that's eBay saying, well, no, you don't, even though you probably should, but they don't want to push people off the platform thinking, well, I can't succeed unless I list every day. I'm a big proponent of that, and while I'm gone, I'm going to have listings that are going to be scheduled to run so that I'm showing activity to the platform. Even though I know, and we've talked about this before, these apps use your geolocation information. It knows I'm not here. So, I don't know. Does it know she's here? I don't know either. So,
well, I'm going to come in here and play with your eBay while you're gone.
That's fine. As long as you take care of all the problems. My concern while I'm gone is, this is, when you have someone watching your account. I'm kind of saying watching the account because you don't generally do it a lot. I got this stupid gnat flying around me. It's like a drone.
Yeah, it's 85 degrees here, you guys, and the bugs are starting to come out strong.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is that, my concern is if we get a return, you don't usually handle returns. So how are you going to handle that return? Or, we get a problem and normally you come and ask me, hey, here's a problem, and I deal with it. Being that your first thought is to send me a text with the screenshot of the question, I may not be able to get to that because I don't have reception where I'm going to be. It's just that every year there's no reception at this damn place. So that's a pain point that we're going to have to deal with. Hopefully you can get through it.
I'll be fine.
And but mainly because I'm picking every day for her, so I'm pulling these boxes down.
That's still gonna be the problem.
Yeah, I'm kind of in my mind concerned about that, but I mean I got a day to resolve it before I take off. So
no, there's not much you can do about it.
So that's that. So a lot of things here. Want to talk about the mindset. Want to talk about your sales. Want to know if I can't be the only one that's doing well in March. Want to know how you guys are doing, and want to know about the channel. I mean, we've asked this before. Don't get a whole lot of people that chime in during the lives. It's like a question that gets glossed over. But really, what changes to the live structure do you want to see to make it more interesting? So we have, I'm going to try to not read all the comments. I'm going to, of course, acknowledge the people that are here. But I think there's a perfect mix and blend of reading the comments versus every single one and trying to keep it somewhat informative at the same time. We have Mike Seller. Want to give Mike a shout out for at least dropping by and saying hi. He'll probably check us on the replay. And then, of course, Keith is second. And then Mike is third. He's slacking. I was going to be first, but it got pulled away for just a minute. When I got back, I was third. Congrats, Mike. At least Mike was first. How you doing, guys? Mav Vision is here with us. Thanks for being here. And Mike says, my sales have been consistent since I got home. Now I'm getting ready to head out to Omaha on Thursday for the Plains to Profit. So Mike wants to know, is anyone in the chat going to Plains to Profit? So I will be playing golf that day. Thank you very much. Let's see. Callie Debs is with us. Thanks for being here. Callie Debs. Mike wants to know, Keith, does a cha-ching count before the live start? I think you have another one coming. So hit the like button. Get your sale within the next 24 hours. We push that positive energy out to you guys. And I know it works because there's too many people saying how it works. Derek W. Pat is with us. Nice to see you. Let's see. And he's had one sale. Andy was not first. He claims he signed in on Friday, but the link wasn't there until like this afternoon. Joe Samard's with us. Kevin Hawthorne is with us. I think he's got like this text file and he just copies and pastes. Good evening from Lakeland, Florida. I think that's what it is.
Nothing wrong with that.
Chastity says, hey all. Nice to see you, Chastity. Volume's a little low. Let's try this.
Is it still low or no?
I don't know.
That looks terrible.
I just like bobbing for microphones. Henri Squaw says, howdy John, Jenna, and FAE chat. I had a new one from the post office. The tracking advised call center customer service. Call customer service I did on Friday, and they closed it Saturday without resolving. Called again and found that package
is not
salvageable, deliverable. Had to refund and put a claim with the post office. Yeah, I have a check right here. I'm gonna do a video at some point without doxing myself. I've got a check right here for a claim. There's a lost package claim. Big Dre, I believe, was on the Discord saying, hey, I got to wait 45 days to file this lost package claim for this Ground Advantage package through USPS. And I'm like, no. We had one that we mailed out like I'd say the latter part of February. And they were like, no, it's not here. Where is it? This is like over a week ago. And I told them, well, give it a few days because you want to buy a little bit of time. You want it to arrive before any kind of case is open. So I said, look, it's Thursday. Come Monday, if it's not there, then go over to eBay and file an item not received, which buys you a few more days. And immediately I went in and filed a claim. I put the pressure on USPS. Now, a lot of times what they do is they will have someone from the destination post office look into it. Whether they call you or not, it's a different story. And they are very fast. Once they determine that it's a lost package, they're very fast.
Keep freezing?
I have no idea. But the show must go on. You ever heard that? Mm-hmm. And you ever hear someone singing and they like forget the lyrics? Do they stop and go, "Oh, I'm sorry"? You just flow with it. You flow with it.
No, my sister, when she goes to concerts, instead of if she doesn't know the words, she just goes la 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 la.
Right. So la 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 la. Let the glitches happen, and we'll just pretend it's not happening. But what was discussed is that I got to wait 45 days before I can file a claim. Now it is written on USPS's website just that if you have Ground Advantage or First Class, you have to wait 45 days from when you shipped it to file a claim, up to a year. But I can tell you, this was only filed like with 20-something days after I mailed it. And then within a week, actually 3 days later, I went and checked on it and it says approved. It said paid. And it was in my mailbox a few days later. They are very fast at processing these things. So just because it may be written in policy, may not be how it's handled, or it's maybe not policed that way. So if you have a claim that you need to file, do not wait 45 days. Give it 2 to 3 weeks, but get in there and get your money, because eBay is not going to give you that kind of grace period before you have to pay that buyer their money back. Now, what's going to happen, and I wonder how this would work, because normally if I've refunded the buyer the money through eBay, and let's say they found this item and it gets delivered, is USPS going to want the money back, and or is eBay going to make me whole like they normally do? That's another question that I was thinking about as well. But Mavvision's getting back into the grind from vacation. I could say the force was not with me. So, yeah, that's a hard thing. It's the mindset of, okay, vacation playtime is over with, and it's time to get back to work.
And Gail's here with us today. Oh, there.
Yeah.
I don't know where any of that is.
Well, you got to look at the thing. These are actually written down.
Casey, New York. Hello, hello. Spam Banshee. Hello.
Yeah, I kind of missed your show today. We were recording the Profit Playbook podcast episode early for this Saturday, because I'm not going to be around to record it. So we had a pretty good conversation. So be sure to go check out Profit Playbook podcast, 8 a.m. Pacific time, 11 a.m. Eastern, and get over there and subscribe. So Derek says, I agree. I've tried other sale platforms before. In the past, no success. eBay seemed to always come out on top.
Always.
I mean, it does. Anytime you are looking at selling online, the other platforms tend to be like only a percentage of what you make on eBay. Now, I will caveat this with, if you change your business model, let's say you're currently cross-listing, maybe you're using TreeCat to cross-post to from eBay to Posh to Mercari, and all those sites, you're making that work. There's people who've actively changed their business model from selling on eBay to directly selling live. That's like the new thing, guys. Even though it's not new per se, it's something that's caught on with a lot of eBay resellers, and they've changed what they're doing, and they're making that part of it work, live reselling. And if you are considering, I got my sale. Boom, there it is, my sale. Sold a part for a Breville espresso machine for $60. So those parts can be really beneficial. So I'm looking at options that would allow me to maybe integrate live selling into what I already do. Now, of course, time has always been a factor for me. Time is involved. You have to prep for these shows. Yeah, there's a lot of things that you have to do. Maybe something I will enlist her to do if I was to do that. And I am trying to be creative, not to change my business, but to adapt my business to different fads. Call it a fad. I don't know if live selling is a fad, but it's the current thing. And so, and it's one that baffles me why eBay, with their eBay Live program, hasn't really led the way with that. Whatnot and these other platforms are doing more of that than eBay is. It just baffles me why that's not happening. We should be talking right now about how we sell on eBay, and we sell live on eBay as well, but that's just not a thing right now.
No.
How are you feeling today?
I feel okay today. All right.
I haven't,
some pain, but it's normal.
I haven't felt good today, and I don't know. I'm starting to kind of wonder what's going on with me. I mean, I don't have the migraine from the tooth thing. That's good, right? But I did have like this headache behind my eyes, and it's like, man, I just don't feel good. But when's my first appointment to get a damn checkup?
May 21st,
And
same day as mine.
This is the thing about insurance that I'm not happy with. I can right now go to Sesame Health. I mean, they don't advocate this program. I believe they're called Sesame Health. So those of you who don't have insurance, it's a telehealth website that you could pay like $40, generally around $40, and get an appointment to say, hey, I got this going on, I got that going on. They will then refer you to like a clinic, and they'll charge you like $100 to go and get all your tests, and then you go to their, if it's local, you go to their clinic, because the one I dealt with last year, the doctor had a local clinic, and for like $50 they'll see you locally and go over whatever and give you a plan to like deal with whatever you have going on and prescriptions. But with insurance, we're paying like $500 a month, and for the privilege of waiting,
It's insane. I am so disappointed in this insurance coverage that I can't even. It makes me absolutely furious. It makes me very disappointed in our healthcare once again. But I have a doctor's appointment tomorrow. So we'll see how that goes.
Chai says, I hit the like button and got a sale. Also, $300 Saturday and above, normal $100 a day coverage, and got 0 sales Sunday. This was expected. Why was it expected on Sunday? We got Major One with us. Thanks for being here, Major Win. Nice to see you. We got Bear with us. Real Timeless Vintage says, good morning,
Hello,
J&J.
Bear.
Craig says, only 10 minutes late. LOL. Well, usually late means you're early as compared to my diatribes. Lewis Riley says, I ask AI if I'm smart. Why am I poor? AI says, I'm just a dumbass. Wow. I don't think you're a dumbass.
No.
The reason why you're not a dumbass is because you're actually here and you're hanging out.
Mm-hmm.
So Henri Squaw says it's cloudy and 57 where she's at.
It's hot here. It's very hot. I have all the fans going.
You got Wolfman's Goodies with us. Nice to see you, Wolfman's Goodies.
Hello.
Paul Rose says, hi, John, Jen, and FA Clan. A little late to the party. And it's late
hello,
where you're at.
Paul.
Yeah, I guess, what did you wake up in the middle of the night and said, I think FA is on up there in England. Wild in New England says 30 and snowing here.
Oh, no.
I would love that right now. That would feel so good.
I would love it, but
If
I
it
would
snowed,
like it to go away real fast.
If it snowed, I would set up our live outside in the snow.
No, we wouldn't.
I would.
No.
I would love it.
You would not.
And I'd have my shorts on. Honor Squad says Poshmark sales have been good.
Ours have been non-existent.
Bear says eBay is waiting for everyone with a sledgehammer. Mm-hmm. What's going on? See? I know your challenge is selling from Japan into eBay US. One thing I have never asked you is if you're in Japan, do they have like local online sites to sell within Japan? Heavy Chevy Guy, that's who it was. It wasn't Big Dre. It was Heavy Chevy Guy that we're talking with on the Discord about the claim. Says happy Monday. Sales could be better, but I'm still making money. That's the thing.
That's key.
Tess cooks for you. Good evening. Nice to see you, Tess.
Hello, Tess.
Deep dive with AI. That's Mr. John. Jenna, did you get a package?
Did I get a package?
We did get packages. So let's take a look. I was like, oh, this has to be a return. Nope. No, these are returns, I think. No package, unless it's in the mailbox.
It might be.
Could be in the mailbox. We'll check it after the show.
Yeah, I'll check it. We're going to be leaving the house, so I'll check it when we leave.
And let me just say that...
I'm excited.
Deep Dive with AI is John. He's Grumpy John.
Grumpy John.
And
Lori.
I gotta give him, some kudos for being a bit of a mentor in the idea of, the whole mindset discussion, because, it really never, the idea of even having a mindset, I'd get up every day, I'd go to work, this is the job that I've created for myself, and it beats a 9-to-5 working for someone else, and that is the motivation I've had. The money coming in that's paying the bills is the motivation, and looking at the bank account and fighting the bills and trying to offset the money that's going out. We got to work harder to bring in has always been my mindset. And then above and beyond that, it's just everything was kind of reactionary and thinking that I somehow had some influence over the things that eBay was doing that was causing me pain points. And through discussions with him, and we've gone to dinner, we've hung out for hours at a time, a couple times, and it's just you start to kind of soak in that knowledge and that experience, and you realize that you can only control the things that you can control. And if you allow these things to really get at you, eat at you, cause you all these, upset, and you don't want to work. I mean, it does have a negative impact on what you're trying to do. And so I do credit him for the conversations, and just to get me to see that there's a mindset that you have to have if you want to be in this game long term. Underscore says, John, can't you go through your viewer stats and actually see who drops out after the first 15 minutes to verify that information? You can't. Well, you can go through your your reports on YouTube and see there's like a graph that shows like where people fall off. And it's usually the first 15, 20, 30 minutes that people just fall off. It's like, oh, I've had enough of this conversation. And so I want to make it so that if you tune in on time or if you tune in late, there's still going to be good information that you're able to get. And it's not just, I think a lot of times we get off the rails and start talking about farts in a jar for lack of anything to talk about. And people don't have time for that. They're trying to work. They want some good eBay discussion in the background while they're working, and something that they can relate to. And talking about randomness for many is just not in the card. So,
but I also feel like this is our time to kind of connect with our community, our friends, our family, you guys. Like, this is a way for us to talk about eBay and all of the other things that are going on in our life. I don't find the lives to be anything less than. I mean, yeah, there are times where we do go off the rails and it's a little inappropriate. Yeah, that does happen, but that's gonna happen. But I guess a way for us to try and manage it is just. I don't want it to be PPP light either, meaning that it's going to be just serious conversation. I'm just, anybody know, I'm not very serious when it comes to that stuff.
That's what worries me. I'm going to be gone for
Oh, stop. I will be by myself, so I don't have any choice but to be me. I'm not necessarily an always serious person. There are serious moments, but not whatever. I just feel like this is a time where we can kind of let our hair down and yes, talk shop, but also talk about the things that are ailing us. It's like sitting down to dinner with all of our friends. That's the way I see our lives. And if we can do that 2 times a week, I feel like we're lucky to be able to do that.
Yeah.
Some people are stuck in their basement, just constantly listing and cleaning and listing and cleaning. And yeah, we're on the background talking about whatever, but it kind of breaks up the monotony of everyday life. We need that outlet. I have not been out of the house in, I think it's now 2 weeks or something.
You've been out of the house.
No, I haven't been anywhere. I don't go anywhere. I go to get the mail if I'm lucky. And
so I need to dispute that charge at the store.
Yeah, okay. So what I'm saying is I think
drama.
This is just time for us to hang out and chat.
And we're going to be going to eat tonight after we're done, too. So
right.
We're going to do a little of that. So,
right. We are going to go to eat, and we're going to go to the store because I need to make sure that I have the proper food.
Programming note. Of course, you guys know that Friday we're not going to have a live because the person that would normally fill in for me has refused and is now having her sister over. So it's made it even more impossible. Even though I've suggested just have your sister on with you, that would be a fun time.
She wouldn't even. She would no.
Just sit here and have a conversation.
She wouldn't know what to do with herself.
Have a conversation. Have a conversation.
I can't talk to her about anything eBay. She has no clue.
Well, and maybe it's from a different
That's
perspective.
why we have our peeps, because these are our people that know what we do and can relate to what we do every single day. My family, they're like, I don't know how. Like, my mom called me this morning. She calls me on a Monday. I'm like, dude, don't call me on Mondays. Call me Tuesday morning. That's fine. But, with Tyler being gone, she wants to know, did you get to talk to him? Did you get to talk to him? And so, anyway.
Well, so we have the Friday no live, and then she's going to be going back to California when I get back. She's going to be going with her sister to California to help her other sister for a couple weeks. And it'll be me, myself, and I on these lives. So we'll have the next live on Monday, and I'm going to try to maybe get a guest on these lives with me, to kind of keep it from me being just like.
It'd be cool to get somebody who is not another YouTuber. Like, I would enjoy seeing one of you guys come on and shoot the shit with John about your everyday business and everyday things. That would be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Matt Vision says maybe turn the live into a hangout Q&A.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's kind of what it has been, but we do answer questions, and it is kind of a hangout. But I like to think that I have some knowledge in this game. I do look at policies. I do have a lot of experience. And I like to think that I can bring that to the audience and try to help people learn from my mistakes, learn from my successes. And I'd like to be able to make it that, right? And then with a lot of your feedback and interaction. So Keith was asking, is that the return request, another return request of the same as Friday? This is the one where...
No, he's talking about your notifications, because everybody's like, oh my God, that would drive me crazy. It would drive me crazy,
No, this just happened because...
Are you serious? It's that big old thing?
Yeah, but they changed their mind. So
they haven't even gotten it yet.
They changed their mind. I got to click on it to confirm. So I can't click on it because I'll dox myself. But it's a... I'll click on it here in a second. They changed their mind. Changed my mind. They didn't even put it in there. So fine. You pay for the return label. Good luck on that. If we look at the item in question, I'll show it to you guys here. This is coming from El Paso, Texas. Come on, eBay. It's been slow, Bay. It is a windshield for a CF Moto Z-Force 950 Ho X, or an X-Ho, 2024 to 2022 to 2024. And so it's just the windshield replacement. They paid $134 plus shipping on this, so it's not free shipping. Shipping, well, locally is $50, but if I go back without doxing anyone, they paid $113 for shipping. They paid $113 for shipping.
No, didn't. Up there, they paid $58.75.
But look, we only earned $25 on the label. You paid $113 for the shipping label?
No, I did not.
That's what they charged us. Are you kidding me? Now I'm concerned. What happened there? Why are there two labels?
No, it's...
Do you run two labels on this thing? You did run two labels.
That was the day that we had all the... We're going to have to ask for a refund on one.
She ran two labels on this.
No, remember, that's the day we had the problem with all the labels.
Did you run this on FedEx?
I tried, remember?
And you ran it on eBay?
I had no choice.
Okay, so we'll need to go in and cancel that second
Remember,
label.
it's $58, but on FedEx.com, it was only going to be like $40.
Yeah, leave Veronica alone, guys. I didn't mean to put her address on there. I didn't notice it on the top of the screen. Nonetheless,
No, we'll have
there's
to
two tracking numbers provided. So essentially, though, she's going to be paying another $58.75 to ship this to get her money back, and she's not getting the original shipping. So she paid $193.49. She's going to get $119.99 for the item back, provided that it's. Did it get delivered? Delivered. It was delivered on Friday.
That one needs to be
right. So we'll go back to that and mess with that. So
I'm glad we looked at it because I didn't see, because I was having such a problem with the labels that day. FedEx was not cooperating, and they still are not cooperating, by the way. I tried to run the label on FedEx.com. It was only going to be like $40 instead of $58. And I kept trying and nothing was working. I don't know how it generated two labels.
Well, you did it twice.
I didn't.
Obviously.
I mean, I don't
know
how that happened.
But you did that on eBay, not on FedEx.
Right.
Okay, so we'll just have to unwind that. So, we just got $58 back.
There you go.
So, look, these are problems that we encounter. Now, yes, she's saying that $58 label, it was supposed to be $40-something.
$40-something.
So we lost
$40 and some change.
So we lost $16 on the first label because we couldn't get the FedEx to work. Did you call FedEx?
I called, but they're no help
Tech
whatsoever.
Support? You got technical support on the phone?
No, they couldn't help me. They kept trying to tell me to do X, Y, and Z. That's not what the problem was. Didn't you hear me on the phone? I was very upset.
So I guess maybe I'll have to call them.
I'm not one to put up with people that I can't understand and then trying to direct me to do certain things. I'm not I don't handle it very well.
So thanks for bringing me up to speed on that return request. It happened right before the show, so I didn't notice it. Paul Rose says, like the rock outro to your recent vid. Well, I think I have it attached to the live here, so if you want to hear it, hang out with us. And Chai wants to know how everyone's sales have been. So, and then yes, bugs are crazy here in Vegas when it's warmer.
Yeah, well, and then we always get the every summer we get the cicadas that like to invade
the cicadas,
Las Vegas.
Paul Rose says, John, you can always remove the Google Maps app in any other tracking apps while away and see if it makes a difference. I don't want to do that, though. I don't want to remove apps.
I mean, if you...
I wonder if you can go into the app and say...
You can turn off your location on all of that stuff.
For eBay.
No,
right?
on anything that's going to track your location.
Well, I want my GPSs and stuff.
Well, I know.
And you got to keep checking on me. You got to keep tabs on me like you like to do. So, how do you keep track of me if I turn it off?
Well, I have.
I tried to come home one night early, so I usually go out there until Sunday morning. But the last few years, I've come home on Saturday night because I just don't want to. I want to get home to my bed. It's just nothing like sleeping in your own bed. And so I decide to drive and get home about midnight because it's only a 3.5 hour drive where I'm at. And I get a phone call like, where are you at? Because she's checking on me.
Yep.
Andre Squaw says, I personally do not agree with that feedback. Which feedback? Help me understand what you're talking about, Andre Squaw.
Wait, was it from his last, from there?
No, that's just asking about the drop-off in stats. So, yeah, let me know what that means. Matt Vision says, May sales tanked this month, but I've been on vacation.
Yeah, that's true.
That can do it. And that's my biggest concern. I'm not going to cancel this trip, but my biggest concern is, man, we've had it's like a freight train rolling through with sales and stuff. I don't want that to derail. Chai says, I'm still averaging $100 a day, which is my goal with 26% sell-through and 1,950 listed. So there you go.
Nice.
There you go. You have Andy Someta. Thanks for being here, Andy.
Well, hello.
Hello, Reseller. And we have S. Latina. USPS Postmaster DeJoy just resigned. Just came across the breaking news.
Oh, I was going to say that. Yeah, it did just a little bit ago.
Talking to my carrier out there, he's loading my packages, and we were out there shooting the shit for the show, and he's like, there's a lot of drama going on at USPS, people not coming to work, people that are, a lot of stress within management. The mid-tier managers are just really on people, and it's just like getting really bad. So
yeah, he's been wanting to quit for a while.
But I told him he can't, because then.
I know, because then who knows what kind of person we're gonna get.
And he was actually my carrier was actually asking me about, well, what about reselling? So here we go. We got someone who has a 9 to 5, and they're like, hey, I see what you're doing. I used to dabble in reselling back in the day. I wonder if that could work for me now. So he sees that I'm doing well with it, and of course the wheels are spinning, and he thinks it's like the grass is greener. I think I told him, well, don't quit your day job. Make sure that it's something that is going to work for you before you do it. But maybe that was just me, like, not wanting to quit. I don't know. Chai says, sales seem to be steady. Looking forward to doing a garage sale when the weather here in Illinois permits to blow out death pile and stuff not eBay worthy. So there you go. Live sales could maybe work for you on that. And yes, the biggest, I think the biggest misconception is, well, I can't do well on live sales because I don't have the audience that you do. But that's...
I've actually seen people who are average, normal people who are not on YouTube grow a channel, or a channel, or whatever you want to call it. They grow a following, and they're able to sell nicely on these other platforms. So
I am trying to real quick make sure that my input is better. I never like to go full max on this, but I think I just want to make sure all looks good there. Okay, so that should help a little bit. I turned it up through the system a little bit if you're still having a hard time hearing me. We got Brett. Success is all about your mindset and what you sell and your price and your customer service. And then, dude, where's my car? What do you mean?
And then...
That is like one of my favorite scenes where the guy pulls up to the Chinese restaurant takeout. You got to check that out. It's so funny. Baskin Noodle says, DeJoy planned on leaving. He'll be replaced with the ghost of Arnold Schwarzenegger. Who knows what's going to happen over there with the Postal Service. You know, and the conversation I had with my carrier is like, yeah, at some point, if they're saying, because he's saying like the post office is losing like $1 billion, $2 billion. Well, guess what? They're probably going to have to up the prices that we're paying to make it work. Duncan says, dang, you skipped my early comment.
Cicadas.
I don't want to say it. Gail says, I'll be in Omaha, but not for planes. Might have to see if I can squeeze some time in. Gail, if you're going to be there in Omaha during that time, okay, fine. You can't. Maybe you don't want to pay for the ticket, or
they don't have tickets. Then it's
tickets?
Free. Everything in
okay. Well, maybe you have
Omaha
time to go
free.
when they're doing it, but you can then say, are there any like later
and
meetups?
I think they're because they do a like a bus like tour thing around to do a bunch of yard sales. Is it yard sales or thrift markets?
I don't know. I think thrifting.
Thrift stores. Anyway, that part I know the tickets are sold out. So
Paul Rose says, I ordered something on eBay this morning and it had a tracking number within a half an hour. That's what I used to do. Felt good from the other side for once.
That's awesome. Hopefully everything goes
And
perfectly.
that is why I think that as sellers, if we go in there and drop that message saying, hey, thank you for your purchase. Just know, like I've got 2 that need to be done here, where we just drop a message. And it's simple as, I like to have a note, like a little note tab, a little tablet on my taskbar. And I have all these like little templates, whether it's me asking Grok the same question every day, so let's type it out once so we don't have to keep typing it out, to a form message to my buyer to let them know, hey, we're going to mail this out on the next business day kind of thing. And it's a level of service that they're not used to getting. And even if they don't get the same day, in the next 30 minutes to an hour, tracking number, like for instance, you get people who will message you that they buy something Friday night and maybe you don't ship out over the weekends. They'll, like Sunday, be like, where's my tracking number, right? So if you get proactive and message them, that'll put an end to that, and they'll appreciate it. Baskin says, I don't mind the stream freezing. It's sort of zombie-alicious. Zombie-alicious.
See, that was terrible. That was an awful freeze.
Well, it was perfect for the comment.
Well, maybe.
Mad Hatter's Boutique says, flipping is easy if you are a hard worker by nature. Mm-hmm. Well, yes, the basics are easy. The basics are easy, right? But I don't care how hard of a worker you are. Mm-hmm. If you've encountered something that you've never encountered before, like this person left me a negative feedback and it's not true. Maybe they returned the item and it ain't the one that I shipped them, or in the same condition that I shipped them, or I shipped this to them, they received it, and then they opened a chargeback as item not received, and they're not answering my messages to send this thing back. It's effort. Now, I guess your mindset can help you get through that a little bit better. So the better you have with your mindset, the more focused on this is just part of doing business than, oh my God, I can't believe they would do this to me. There's two different mindsets there. I think the one you decide to take will help you get through it. But in both cases, no matter how you approach it, it's not easy. You have to go through, and if you're fighting a chargeback, you got to give eBay documentation. You got to go through, find this, and most of us don't have a whole lot of experience dealing with that kind of thing. It's more of a pain in the ass than stressful, but it certainly isn't easy. Craft with Barbara Drake says, howdy y'all. Nice to see you,
Hello,
Barbara. Underscore says, well, they already determined it was not salvageable or deliverable. So
that went along with the other one.
Mav says, need a video on how to do a claim. I've done it once. I rarely do one, but I don't remember how. So I do want to do one about what I kind of just mentioned a little bit, talking about how we should be like right on it. Don't wait 45 days. Even though the policy does say that, because I did go back and check. It's kind of odd that they allow it to go through, but they do. Baskin says, took the post office 6 months to pay a claim I had and required the State Department to step in back when.
What?
So they've gotten better, but I can tell you, if it's a loss claim, it's a totally different animal than if it's a damage claim. Damage claim, you may more than likely will not get paid, and they will have your recipient, who's already getting reimbursed through eBay, to go out of their way to take it to the post office, stand in that long line behind the blue door, and wait for someone to come in and help them. And nobody wants to do that, and most buyers won't. Mike Seller says, hello, just passing through. Sales flatlined here. That's no good. Well, hopefully you make the adjustments, and I think that's the thing. You got to make adjustments, whatever it is, whether it's a nuclear reset to maybe getting your low performing items out of your store, maybe creating a second store for those lower performing items where your main store actually has a higher conversion rate as a result. I think there's all kinds of different things that we can do to help boost our sales, even to what we're selling. And I think a lot of people are resistant to that, but I'm going to continue to say it until I'm blue in the face. Larry Todd is with us. Nice to see you.
Hello, Todd.
And Tess will cook for you. Says 25 years of eBay here. eBay has always been good and mostly sided with us, the seller. We could write a book, always remain professional and communicate via eBay. And there's times where we'll talk about the things that suck with eBay, and I don't think we give eBay enough credit for the things that don't suck. So you're right. Keith says, I've had 2 sales, John, before the live started. I take credit for that. Yeah, I take credit for that. Todd says, Jenna, have you talked John into coming to Nashville to meet me yet?
Oh, I really, really want to go to Nashville. But I really, really want to see my son graduate from the Army, or boot camp. So I am sacrificing meeting you. Unfortunately, this time it's just not gonna. This year is not gonna work out.
I can get a screenshot of your hand. I know what it looks like.
That's not fair.
Just joking. No, I'd love to meet you, Todd.
I would love
to
to go, but it's just not in the cards this time. We have to literally, if we're going to the East Coast for this graduation, we literally need to make it a whole trip. There's, we've got, our daughter lives in North Carolina. There's places that we'd like to go. So we're going to make a vacation out of it. I love you, Todd, but it's just not in the cards this time.
We'll meet you at some point down the road.
We will.
Yeah.
I mean, you are in Texas, and that's where Tyler does live. He will be going back to. So
we have Eric Bressy says, I got a store question. Do you think it's best to build your store as is or niche down clothes, ephemera, etc.? If I could build the perfect store, it would be a niched store. But that doesn't mean I can't, but I won't because I don't have consistent sourcing. It all boils down. Anything you do with retail, with reselling, it starts and ends with how you source. So if I'm not able to find at least 2 consistent places where I can pick up goods for this particular niche, then, at my price point that I'm wanting to pay, then I'm not even going to bother with it. I've had opportunities to niche down. A couple times. One time I was going to do sporting goods, and that was like a year and a half ago. And I'm like, where the hell am I going to get my stuff? I can't, maybe a little bit through liquidation, reliant on like 75 to 80% on yard sales and maybe some thrift stores. That's not, to me, reliable enough. You got to have someone that you can call or get in contact with that will have the inventory to you, or a place where you can go that constantly has that kind of inventory, and I don't have it. And I'm not interested in selling clothing, mainly because I'm looking for markets that aren't saturated. I know it's easier for people to get clothing. That's why these markets are so saturated. People can go to their bin stores. They can go to their local thrift stores. Almost every yard sale has clothing. It's so easy to get, and that's why you're dealing with probably one of the biggest categories out there. And I think to be successful, you got to find something that has limited competition and high demand. So what is that? There's a lot of those items, but can you get the product? There's a lot of different
factors that you have to put into that. But I mean, having a niche store is ideal. I mean, if you can make that work.
Basket says, the pain behind your eyes was John Bay. I saw it on the Waltons when I was a younger testicle. What the hell?
Be nude.
My dad used to call me John Boy, and I would be at my baseball game, let's say Little League or whatever, and he's like, come on, John Boy. And I'm like, really? I mean, it's like, I'm trying to focus here, and you're going to make me strike out because I'm really irritated at you calling me that. Major Wynn says, great to see you, Todd. Lewis Riley says, more breaking news. Canada has said it'll join the U.S. if the U.S. converts to metric. 0 is freezing, 100 kilometers per hour is 60 miles an hour, 4 liters per gallon, 2 toonies and 1 loony equals $5. I don't know what to say about that.
No.
As long as they're not making us drive on the wrong side of the road like you guys do in the UK.
In Canada.
Well, I don't know why not. Flipping to the trailer says, good evening all.
Well, good evening.
It's warm after it snows. And we have Duncan says, I went to the doctor for a health checkup, and she said I need to eat more KFC.
That's a lie. That is such a lie. That's something John would say.
Paul says, wake up, John. I don't go to bed until the wee small hours. That would be tough. I don't know about going to bed.
I need more sleep than that.
Paul's on U.S. time.
Yeah.
Real Timeless Vintage Bear says, hey, head pain comes from blood flow because of overweight. And that's a fact. When I was like 200 pounds, never had that pain. Now head pain every day, back to 200 pounds.
Yeah, I think it's his blood pressure, to be quite honest.
Yeah, I told Jenna, I said, when we get back, we need to look into going
When we get back,
when I get
I'm
back,
not going anywhere.
Well, you are going somewhere. You're going to your sister's house. So when we get back from the places that we're going, we need to, and we get settled back in, we need to look into we have a fitness center that's just a quarter of a mile down the road. And to go there 3 or 4 times a week for, 45 minutes to an hour, it shouldn't cause too much problem, right?
I don't know. We'll see.
John says, now I'm blushing. Thanks, guys.
Mm-hmm.
Well, thank you.
Thank you. I can't wait for my package. Maybe it'll come tomorrow if it's not in the mailbox today.
Bear says, there's no site in Japan to sell local, but I do some different thing local to keep myself busy.
Oh.
All right.
Okay.
Keith says, gonna get all the sleep I need when I'm dead. Jeez. And Lewis says he sells often to Japan. Their addresses are crazy long.
Oh, how funny.
Yeah.
I always look at, when I'm doing the shipping, I'm always looking at the addresses of where people live. We have a boatload of Puerto Rico packages that are still going out. I don't understand it. Do they not have anything in Puerto Rico? I mean,
on this last batch of stuff?
Today. I mean, do they not? Because I can't send FedEx, obviously. And it's so annoying because some of them are paying like $25, $30, $35. And I try to cut the cost, and I go in and then I look at the address. I'm like, God.
See, there's a lot of those get stuck in Florida, and I'm like, oh no. Derek says, I would love to visit Japan, seeing how beautiful it is from watching YouTube videos as a tease.
Yes, yeah. I want to go too.
I want to go to the dirtiest ghetto in Japan. I don't think there is one.
Why?
Because there is none. There's not one. I want to know if there is such a thing. There's not. Every video I've seen.
Every place has areas that are not as appealing as others.
Baskin Noodle says, I have plenty of time. I'll discuss how to wipe one's keister with the potato chip if I'm in the mood. That's gross.
Ew.
Bear says, John, just to remind you, I was an Army paramedic for 6 years. Mm-hmm. So if I get a headache, I'm going to start yelling, medic! Big Dre says, shipping out a pair of a retro Nike for $180. Hope they pass inspection. Also shipping a couple of shirts that sold for $40 plus shipping.
Nice.
Well, did those Nikes... did you find those Nikes over your fence one morning? Because that's the way you get authentic Nikes. Is if they just one morning you go outside and they're in your backyard. Duncan says he mentioned the PPP again. Yeah. Keith says, "Hey John, sold the boring business folk. Sod the boring business folk. You got your FA family and community. Don't fix what ain't broke. Save the business stuff for the videos." Mm-hmm. I want a mix. I want the right mix. I want it to be fun yet informative, if that's possible. We got Scan to Freedom. Jake. Sorry. Get lag gets out of the basement sometimes.
Yeah.
Or hey lag gets out of the basement.
Hey lag gets out of the basement sometimes.
Everyone agrees with Jenna.
No, not everyone.
And we've got Derek. Oh, that's Derek.
That's you.
I'm looking at Derek.
I know.
So I can, if I ever meet Derek,
he did me too.
Yeah.
We need new pictures.
We do.
Emojis.
When are you gonna make them? While I'm gone, you gonna design some?
I could.
Oh, you could. But she's got some accounting work. I've got some homework for her while I'm gone. Keith says, I agree with Jenna. So yes, Jenna, you tell him. Paul says, Jenna is someone close in case you need anything. I guess Arch is local, isn't he?
Yeah. Archie is the closest. I mean, if something happened, I would certainly reach out to Archie because he's really the only one.
If something major happens, I'll be 3.5 hours away. Unless I'm on the golf course, I'll drive home and drive back if I had to.
Yeah, no, I'll be fine. I keep this house locked up like Fort Knox. So No problem there.
Big Dre says, liquidated 4 totes of books yesterday at half price books. They paid me $27. I'm glad to be rid of them. I paid $150 for all the books and made $1,000 last year. These are left over taking up space. So yeah, I hear you on that. I'm wondering, and I have a similar type of item that I've kind of talked myself out of even wanting to mess with anymore. That lot of car parts. Ugh. It was the worst purchase in the last 5 years for me, and I didn't really think about the amount of work that those listings were going to take until I started getting in there and trying to list them and going, oh my god, one air filter can work for like 5 different makes of cars, and then for 5 years for this make, 6 different years for that make, 7 different trims for this make, and you have like 200 different cars that the damn thing is for, and you better get them right, because if someone buys it because they eBay's Fit program tells them, oh, this will work for your Pinto hatchback convertible, okay, and you ship it to them and like, this doesn't fit, now you're dealing with unraveling that whole thing. So it's a headache I don't want to deal with. I'm into them for $500 for all the parts. I may have made about $50 in the few that I've listed, and I just want to get out from underneath those, and it might be, I don't know how those will do in a live setting if I was to go on Whatnot and sell auto parts. Does anybody even do that?
I don't know about that. That doesn't
like,
sound
hey,
like
I got this,
time.
This convertible bug part.
That doesn't sound like a good time at all.
Let's see. Andy Reno says, Jenna, time you get out of the house, I want you to jump in a car and go to the thrift store and pick up some stuff.
Yeah. It'll have to wait.
Yaskino said, it's time to retire this keyboard. You know what?
Well, look at what he... I don't know what he was trying to say.
I would recommend this dusty keyboard. It's called a Photo Arc.
Proto
Arc, and it is totally cool. It's wireless.
No, message.
Oh boy. Oh, it's from John's Collectible Badges. What does he have to say? But it's Bluetooth. You don't need a dongle. I got the dongle in the back. You could use the dongle, but you have 2 different profiles. You could set it up to work with your computer and your laptop without doing anything but connecting it through Bluetooth. So what does this guy have to say? Oh boy. Well, you'll find that out. Keith's summary. John, we agree with Jenna. Don't change the lives. I'm going to tweak them a little bit, some way, somehow. It'll still be fun. Trust me on that. Scanner Freedom John should have to do dinner alone. Why do I have to do dinner alone?
John should have had to do dinner alone.
Now, that's a different spelling, John. Are you talking about Grumpy John or me, John? Derek says, I'm down for come on the live. Don't know how much value I can bring, but I can try.
That would be fun.
So do me a favor, Derek. Email me at flippingainteasy2020@gmail.com, and we'll work it out. Heavy Chevy guys, so John, we talked about claims in the Discord a little bit. Can you do a live walkthrough one day? I will. One of the things that I want to do, because being gone, I want to make some videos for this week. Maybe when I get home, but I still got some drafts I need to do for this week too. So if I have time, I'll get those done. I got a lot of work to do. I may not be going to bed till midnight tonight, but that's fine. I want to get it done. Jake, yeah, I'd love to have Jake on. Our favorite branch seller. So yes, again.
I was gonna say Twigs.
Yeah, Twigs.
Twigs. I'm not.
If he wants to come on, certainly. I just don't have the same setup where like Beard does his lives and like he'll put the link and you have to kind of set it up ahead of time to get the guest on. Yeah. Duncan says I'm too handsome to go live.
Oh, come on, Duncan.
John
we want to see your handsome ass.
John's starting a YouTube live hangouts tomorrow morning on this channel around 7 a.m. Central.
Oh, that's not happening.
Well, maybe on his though. Maybe on his Deep Dive with Al channel.
I doubt it.
He's gonna be discussing all things Al.
Oh.
That looks like Al, right?
It does, but I think it's AI.
Anything that has to do with Al Bundy, Al Obama, any of those things. Lewis says, oh, maybe not. I would have to do it in metric, darn it. Basket Noodle says, I'd be the best host. Put up Captain Kirk photo and order people around. Lol, main phasers, silverware, or silver here. Warp 7. See, I'm not a Trekkie.
What
so
in the heck are you reading?
I'm reading his whoosh. I'm going to just call it a whoosh. Not even a comment. Just over my head. Paul says, how can anyone change their mind on that? Do they need it or not?
Right. That's what I'm saying on that windshield.
Well, we'll find out, right? Now, scammers, if it was someone might think, well, this is them sending back their old windshield. Scammers don't decide to get honest and say change their mind when it allows them to get a free label to lie. So they're going to lie about changing their mind and shipping you their old windshield. They're going to lie about the reason as well. So I'm a couple things about this. I'm fairly confident it's not a swap out, and I'm fairly confident that they won't ship it back because they're going to see when they go in and process the return, eBay is going to tell them $58 is going to be deducted from your return, and they might think twice about it. Yeah, I'm just going to avoid one of those labels on that return. Yeah. Maybe they found it locally. But maybe they'll return the locally when they find out they're out shipping both ways. Derek says, question, was wondering if we could talk some more about eBay's paid ads on our next membership hangout. Sure. Yeah. And that will be, I don't even have a calendar that pops up here, but that'll be the first Wednesday of the month, as long as it's not April Fool's Day. April 2nd.
Lois Riley, thank you for coming in today. They have to go, but thank you for coming in and hanging out with us.
See, she's on time with the comments. I'm not, but thanks for being here. Don't be a stranger.
Yeah.
Darn it. Keith says, turn off my location settings. I don't know. That messed me up. Maybe if I could find one that ties directly to the eBay app, I will. _, the feedback that you need to change the format of these lives.
Oh, that's what he was saying earlier.
And so it was...
The feedback.
What about it? Don't change the feedback?
Don't.
Now I need you to restate what you're asking. All right. Okay.
Okay.
Andy says, eBay has been listening to your videos, John, so they're making up for the time that they're going to shut you off.
Yeah, I hope that's not the case.
I hope not.
Rhonda's here.
Yeah, late to the party. I've been saying bad words all afternoon because of this sorry piece of called the internet. DeJoy did not do a good job.
No, obviously not. Look at our mail system.
Kelly says, I've been in a 2-week lull of sales. It seems to be going up finally, but time will tell. Down about 25% this month. Yoy. Year over year. Let's see. USPS lost $9.5 billion in 2024, $6.5 the year before. They're in a dire need of an overhaul.
Wow.
Yeah.
How do they even survive?
Between the sweetheart retirements, high tier benefits, and subcontracting, freighting, big issues. Yeah. And guess what? I don't see USPS going away. I see the prices going up. So good luck on that. Let's see. _, says, I have those templates on Notepad as well to make it quicker and easier. Yeah. Why keep typing the same thing over and over again? You want to remain consistent. So maybe what you type to like AI changes or type to the customer changes, and you're like, what did I say last time? So you constantly refine your template to where you really like it, and then just copy and paste. Basket Noodle says, as I said weeks back, I'd order on eBay as if going UPS and never ship. Contacted sellers, gave me a USPS number, which didn't update at all until delivered, then both updated on eBay.
Wow.
Larry Todd says USPS losses are built in for the last 50 years. However, their losses would be fully covered by the waste from other less desirable government programs. Yeah. John says, who cares? Move on. You can't please everyone. No,
he's talking about the negative feedback.
Oh, yeah. Talking about a negative feedback. Okay.
When you were talking about when you get a negative feedback.
Yeah, it is what it is. I got a negative feedback the other day, and I don't even know what it was about. I just moved on. Bear says, success on eBay is how much you bend over and how much Vaseline you're ready to use. I mean, that's the emotion though you want to get out of it right there, and I think it's just a mindset switch that you have to look at it in terms of, if you sell enough stuff, you're going to get treated this way by the buyer, and eBay is going to have their back a lot of the times, and you just have to accept it. And if you know that it's going to happen, 20 times this year, then expect it to happen 30, because it's the way the game is set up. Their website is a little sketchy. Yes. And Gutted's with us, says last quarter USPS was profitable. It was only 144 million compared to the same quarter last year was 2.1 billion loss. And I wonder how much of that is caused by Ground Advantage. With such a great deal on the price of these Ground Advantage packages, I'm wondering if they see that as causing them a lot of money. I was talking to the carrier. I said it boils down to payroll. It is that they just negotiated this new contract. I don't know if it was approved or if they sided with something, but those expenses are only going up. Yeah. Mavision is my like equals my buyer paid. I'll take it.
Oh, that's good.
We'll take it.
We like a paying buyer.
Yes. Basket Noodle.
Every night I say my prayers, then I thank God for the paying customers.
So Basket Noodle says, I shipped a $45,000 order for a U.S. Asian embassy post 9/11. It was sent certified, registered. It was rifled through en route. Postal Service refused to honor the insurance on the parcels rifled through. Refused to release the handling list. Had to get DC involved, and they paid out fast.
Wow.
Yeah, you get government, the right government officials involved, and things can get done.
That's crazy.
He says, yes, John, but I just had a cancellation for one of those sales, so you owe me a refund on the like button.
Oh, yep. Man.
Well, my guarantee for the like has nothing to do with cancellations or refunds. I get those all the time. John says, I am in Texas for a few more days and 42 days on a cruise. Problems in doing business.
Yeah, living the life. Living the life.
Midwest Picker says, eBay was awful all weekend. 40% off. OBO and crickets, or best offer in crickets. Hopefully this week is better. Would think people have some tax money, or is it already spent?
Yeah.
Well, I think they still have the money. The sales are out there. We had a great weekend.
Yeah.
Again, there's so many things that you can do within the things that you can control. Look at finding ways to weed out the low conversion rate stuff. And I'm going to make a video. I got to get it out. I got to get it done. I want to make a video I'm going to try to release this week that's going to help people on a little bit of that. Deep Dive says, Grubhub is buy now, pay later. People ain't got money to shop. Grubhub. We use Uber Eats. Basket says, so the U.S. government sort of denying the U.S. government insurance set forth by the U.S. government? LOL.
Wow.
Paul Rose says, Night John Boy was said by many a family during the Waltons. Yeah. Yep. Lewis says, breaking news, the U.S. has agreed to French being the second official language, paving the way for Canada becoming the 51st state.
Wow.
And then Larry Todd says, the USPS would be fully solvent and working properly with the money spent for foreign wars. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
And then Night John Boy is what we will all be saying at the end of the live.
Oh, no.
That's horrible.
You shouldn't have said anything.
Well, you know what? This show's about me being honest. There's many shows that won't talk about their sensitive issues. Jovial says, have you all seen the new USPS electric truck bubble box car yet? Driving one of those hideous would be embarrassing if the Gremlin and the Pacer had a big fat baby. Wow.
Wow. No, I haven't seen it. I'll have to look it up.
And then Heavy Chevy guys lost, 3 weeks ago, they lost his package, 2 center caps to Puerto Rico. Todd says, Japanese clean bleach because it might have dust in it.
Bleach.
Clean bleach because it might have dust. I don't know. Keith says, John, have you ever seen Big Trouble in Little China? No, I have not. But I've seen they call me Bruce. I don't know how that has anything to do with anything, but it was one of my favorite comedies as a kid growing up. Paul Rose says, yeah, Jenna, people must get concerned when they post things here to the crypt.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Bear says there's a ghetto in Japan, giant one in Osaka City, about 1 kilometer long.
Oh.
You should do a video from that.
No, that's putting him in harm's way.
If it's not safe, then don't.
Well,
do
that's
it.
like in Vegas. You just don't go to the east side of the 15 freeway. It runs smack dab in the middle of Vegas.
Yep.
Do not ever, especially as a woman, go to the east side.
It's not that bad
by yourself.
It's not really.
It's
that
not
bad.
that bad. Okay. The news will tell you otherwise.
Well, just pick your spots. Like, I go to that side of town where they have yard sales sometimes.
Yeah, well, I'm not going anywhere on the east side without a...
Pitco says, hey, John, did you have any joy of the reseller refurbished listings?
Of the seller refurbished listings.
That's what I said.
You said reseller.
Whatever. Any joy? What do you mean by that?
Did you have any joy of the seller refurbished listings?
I don't know what that means. I don't take joy in listings. I just do it. It's part of the job. But I've done about a half dozen of the refurbished ones. You got to do certain things. There's certain things that we can't discuss once you sign up for the eBay refurbished program as a seller. They tell you can't talk about. So I can't talk about it. I can't even tell you how I feel about it. According to their little what is it? The NDA that they have you sign. I need a new keyboard. Send it. Like $80-$90 on Amazon. They're really good. These, and they're back. They have the backlit, so it's backlit. I don't know if you can see it, but when you start hitting keys, it's not showing.
Oh,
right
you
now.
just dropped yourself all the way to the bottom.
So, but we start hitting keys. It's a backlit wireless keyboard. I love it. So
I don't like those where it divides the hands.
So Todd says, correct, basketball, but do we want a great USPS or wasteful government spending on stuff like the lives of chickens in China?
No.
Yeah. Beard's with us. It's a little late.
What?
But, and then Basketball's got to go pet Snake Puskin. Feeding time. Take care. Andy has a question, though.
Bye, B-Newts. Have a good one.
Have a good one, Basket Noodle. Question, John. Can you list these auto parts with the manufacturer part number and let your customers figure out, because they probably already know what they're looking for? You can. My thought, and maybe I'm misguided here, is that if you don't set up the compatibility part of those listings, you're not going to get as much exposure, because eBay wants those listings as part of their guaranteed fit program. If I'm going to bother with something, I want to do it right. I just, maybe the OCD part of me, it would bother me if I didn't have a complete listing. Mm-hmm. Bear says, John, I sent an email to Pete about the police patches and I never got an answer. I sell local.
To sell local.
To sell local, yeah. I don't know. I'm fortunate enough to know Pete. I have his direct number. I just text him. I don't send him emails. He probably gets a lot of emails.
Yeah, he's probably... I mean, he is a busy guy.
And Lewis says, I got to go. Well, we said bye to you earlier, but bye again.
Yes.
Paul says, I can't come on alive. I don't show up on a video, unfortunately. He's a ghost.
No, he's a vampire.
Beard says, when you mention April 2nd, please recognize it as officially Bearded Picker's birthday. So, I think we need to have Beard on with me that day. It's
a Tuesday.
That's a Wednesday, ma'am. We just checked. That's a Wednesday. That's when we're going to do the live for the members only. Andy Riddle says, USPS is a government subsidy so we can pay one way or another. Yep. But I think that might be going away at some point. I think they were going to privatize it at some point. Derek says, I almost forgot. I should have my red Flippin' Ain't Easy coffee cup arriving soon. That way I can watch FAA in style.
Oh,
that is awesome.
That is so cool.
Yeah, and we do have merch. I don't push it. It's the company that we use is, what is it? What are they called? I forgot what they're called.
I forgot.
But nonetheless, they are linked. Like, you could buy merch. It's cool. kind of pricey, which is why I don't push it. But you know, it is what it is. They have all kinds of stuff. But hopefully you enjoy it. Just know I didn't make it.
Thank you so much. That's so awesome.
That is awesome. Paul says, I use sticky notes on the Mac for copy and paste messages with X's for the parts to change. And then John says, Beard, and the day I head to Europe to visit Rosie. And Ellen. Todd says, 2.1 billion lost by the USPS is a driplet drop in the amount of service provided. Come on, folks. You do not want the USPS to go away. I agree.
Yeah.
Andy says cancellations and refunds are in the small print.
Of our show.
Yes, right. We don't have small print. It's so small that you can't even see it with the microscope. John says, last 2 weeks I've been selling it like it's the fourth quarter. I don't have a fourth quarter. My fourth quarter is now through summer. That's the last couple of years. IdeaPad says, if USPS goes away, I bet we'll have to pay a subscription service fee to FedEx or UPS for our address to receive packages, especially remote rural locations. I hope not. They need. I don't think USPS is going to go away. I think it's going to be revamped, but it's not going to be as cheap as we know it now. I think it's going to. The price of the postage is going to be a little bit higher. Derek says you have until April 15th for taxes are due. I gotta do my taxes.
Gosh, don't remind us.
And then you can still file late. I have had filed late by 2 months last year, and nothing bad happened. I'm sure there are 10,000s of people who not yet filed. I'm one of them, but trust me, I will be filing before the 15th. Mm-hmm. That's going to happen. Yeah. Bear says 10 a.m. to 12, gym time, then rollerblade on the streets until 2, then back to listings. Not fun, but I don't want to see 0 in April. March is over for me. So I want to challenge you, though, Bear, in trying to take the mindset of how listing is not fun, or eBay is not fun, or reselling is not fun, and just know it's part of the process. So you get to go and do the things you want to do from 10 to 12 when some people are forced to do their 9-to-5 job. You get to go to the gym. And then from 12 to 2 when some people are still at that 9-to-5 job, you get to go out rollerblading, right? These are the benefits of the listing part. So you get to list and do the things that aren't fun so that you can have time to do the things that you want to do when you want to do them. It's a trade-off. And it's the price of admission. I'll go to a concert, we'll go to a concert, or we'll go to a movie. We'll go to different things in town. It's not fun to pay the money that they want for some of these things, but it's the price of admission. So that's your price. And start enjoying it. Find ways to make that part that's not fun more enjoyable. Yeah. John Doe says the stores around here have been busy and people are stocking up, probably because of the tariffs in the second, and we got a ton of Canadian shoppers here too. That's interesting. Yeah. Desi loves the shirt. It's a little Groku, Baby Yoda.
Baby Yoda.
Quit I cannot. Quit I cannot. Too legit I am. Deep Dive with Al says I like the east side of Vegas.
Oh, you go ahead and have it. I can see you putting one of those guys down. Mm-hmm.
And then Todd says Lag is from East Vegas. Lag is 5 stores.
5 stories below.
Stories below East Vegas. Keith says, did it sell better as listed because you were able to list as seller refurbished? I haven't noticed. I really haven't noticed. When it sells, I'm not looking at the condition. We're just shipping it. But I'll do a deep dive into that and see how my refurbished listings have done. Biff says, checking in late from a Costco run and dropping off shipments. We'll circle back to the beginning when I list tonight. Well, thanks for being here. Awesome. Real Timeless Vintage says, or Bear says, Jenny, thank you for your worries, but I'm in Aikido 5th.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
If I will be in Osaka, I will make a video. I will do a video with one of the Japanese mafia, Yakuza boss's son. It'll be fun. Now, that's kind of cool.
That actually sounds very interesting.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Derek votes for Beard. No, I'm saying like.
Well, there's going to be multiple days that I will not be here.
Right.
I'm going to be gone for like 2 weeks, roughly. So there's going to be like 4 or more that I won't be here for.
So Richard's got 2 sales since hitting the like button.
Nice.
That's awesome. And then Beard wants to know if Beard's going live today. He only does it on Wednesday mornings.
And Friday.
I don't know what that translates over to Japan time, but Wednesday mornings, too early for me, but maybe that's like evening for you. And then Friday after our show here, he goes live. Chastity has got to drop off now. Wishing everyone lots of sales this week. Mm-hmm. Well, lots of sales to you as well. Keith, waiting on Jenna to make some merch.
Yes. It's coming.
Andy wants to know, can I find Flippin' Ain't Easy cups on eBay? You can only find them if, like, let's say Derek decides to resell it. You should be able to go to, like, down below and see. I don't see anything here. Looking at the merch, we have a lot of links, by the way, in our stuff. I don't see it. Do you see it? Oh yeah, it's down. You go in the description.
Copy it.
Okay, let's see. Copy. And it's not letting me copy the link.
Copy link.
Copy link address. I told you. And then we'll paste that in there. And if you want to check out the merch, there it is. The link's right there. Or if you're watching after the fact, you can go into the description. Go like 3/4 of the way down. It's one of the links that we have for the merch. Paul says, John, do you do any extra large mugs? I need to replace my Genius at Work one that I smashed. Says it all. No, there's regular mugs, though. You could choose your color.
Yeah, I think they have like a 20-ounce mug. I can't recall.
Joga says, for those of you who sit most of the day, Bolo for a QB Go. It's orange and gray, portable elliptical for desk exercise. Surprised at the extra exercise I get sitting on my bum. I come across those all the time. Yeah. Not that particular brand, but ones you put under your desk.
Well, we used to sell a lot of those.
Yeah, we get them in like certain times of the year. We get more than other times. John says, taxes were due March 15th. Cost me the year's salary and taxes. Good thing my first year owing 6 figures in total taxes on my returns.
That's frightening.
That is. But if you're constantly accounting for that and pulling the money out, and putting it aside, it doesn't hurt you at all. John Doe says the Postal Service is in the Constitution. The government has no choice in the matter.
Is it really? I didn't know that.
I didn't know that. I'll have to brush up on my Constitution then. Jojo says, don't forget to make your $1.25 Dollar Tree run tonight. I think the prices go up to $1.50 and $1.75.
You are shitting me. Are they really?
So it's the $1.50 tree?
Are they really going up? I didn't even hear that. Did you?
I don't go there, so I rarely go there.
Well, that's a scam. They need to rename that store.
Well, maybe you need to change your mindset on how you deal with Dollar Tree.
Get the fuck out of here.
She wasn't supposed to say that. So for all you kids out there, you're supposed to close your ears like the last 10 minutes of this show.
Sorry.
Stuff like that will happen.
Yeah, because I am the #1 sailor.
So here's the deal. We are at the end of the show, and I just want... Apparently there's no cups in my store. Let's take a look.
What?
How's there no cups in my store? There it is. We're going to find out right now. Right now. Okay, let's take a look. I agree to your terms. Let's go look. So, wow, you got some...
Keep going. Show more.
I know. You got some
that
cool
looks
threads.
like a cool hat.
They changed it. We're going to redo this logo, though, because I want the logo, not the words. But here we go. We got some of that. We got some of that. If you want your baby to wear some stuff.
What happened to the mugs?
I know what happened. What the hell? How did you order one, Derek?
Yeah, how did you get one, Derek?
All products, kids, babies, accessories. Oh, you gotta do the drop down.
Oh, click on the...
Gotta do the drop down. There it is.
Oh, there they are.
And then you could do your red mug. That's the one that Derek got right there.
Yep.
You could do your black mug. You could do your blue mug. You could do your one size. Oh, look at that that sports bottle.
That's a pretty cool bottle.
Here's
Those are like those camper mugs. Those are cool.
Cool. Right on. And then you got more. Let's see. You got your stickers and magnets. They have better stickers than we do. That's awesome.
That's terrible.
So there's your Flippin' Ain't Easy merch if you're interested. I don't try to push it because we've had them for a while, but it's just not something I like to do.
It's normally, I would love to be able to do all of that myself, but that requires buying all of those products in bulk and then doing all of it myself. And I'm just not in a position to be doing that kind of work all the time.
So Grumpy John says, also realize if you pay 6 figures, your income was much higher than that. I'm looking to hit 7 figures in gross income next year after fees, after COGS, after advertising. Yeah. And I know that you had said something to the effect of, where did he go? You should be it costs a year salary and taxes. So I think you've embraced it. I think some people would look at it as this sucks. I got to pay money for taxes, but it's sort of like receiving returns. Like, oh, returns are up. That means you're doing well. You're making more sales, right? So
are you clutching your pearls, Paul?
The $1.50 tree.
$1.50 tree.
So, guys, I want to thank you for being here with us. We're going to go and grab a bite to eat, and we're going to go to the store and stock up on some things, stuff for my trip, stuff for here, and then I'm gonna get back and get to work and try to get some videos done. I don't know how successful I'm gonna be.
Laundry.
So, lots of things going on, but I want to thank you guys for being here. I want you to have a great week. Get those sales, and again, no show on Friday. Maybe try to release a video around the time that we usually, get together. But we will see you in a week from now on the following Monday, or at least I will. And I want to thank you. But developing a mindset, things are going to happen on this platform. We have to accept it and expect it, even if it never happens. You expect glitches on the platform and you expect it and it never happens. Well, that's a good thing. But if it happens, you're prepared for it. And looking at the things that you do, all the little tedious tasks you have to do to run your business, embrace it. And don't look at it as something that is a negative. And if you start looking at these things as a positive, as a ticket to allow you to do the things that you want to do, then that mindset will allow you to be motivated to get the stuff done that you normally just dread. But figuring that out and understanding how to develop that mindset is yet another example of how flipping ain't easy. And I want you guys to, again, have a great week, and we'll talk to you on Monday.
Don't push it yet. We love you. We hope you have a fantastic week, and we will talk to you, I don't know when, but we love you. Take care. Lots of sales. Be kind, and God bless.
See you next week.
Bye.
Chargebacks, returns, and lowball offers too. Zero takedowns, they're a pain. What can we do? High selling fees, bad buys, and rude buyers galore. Flipping ain't easy, but we keep coming back for more. All resellers are gonna make mistakes. Learn from them and you'll have what it takes. In the world of reselling, we're your guide. With flipping ain't easy by your side. Sourcing great items is the key to success. Subscribe to the channel and stand above the rest. Focus on the thing that is within your control. Hang with flipping ain't easy. Let's roll! Catch the light. streams on Mondays and Fridays. Join the Discord community for the parlays. Tune into the podcast. Profit Playbook's the name. With Scott and Josh, flipping's more than a game. All resellers are gonna make mistakes. Learn from them and you'll have what it takes. In the world of reselling, we're your guide. With flipping ain't easy by your side. Catch the live streams on Mondays and Fridays. Join the Discord community for the parlays. Tune into the podcast. Profit Playbook's the name. With Scott and Josh, flipping's more than a game. Catch the live streams on Mondays and Fridays. Join the Discord